To be a winner, you must believe that you can win. And yeah, the bigger the belief you have, then the more you can achieve. However, sometimes we understand it's a human nature. Sometimes we might be doubtful about ourselves. So we need to find, different ways to make sure that not only that we can retain our belief, we can even grow our belief. One thing we can do is we always read, books about how the other people become successful. And a lot of times we find actually those people, they have a more humble beginning than we have, or even they even have tougher situation than we encounter. And we have to always think, if they can do it, why can't I do it? And why can I do it even more? And the other thing is, make use of your peers. Work with your peers. Sometimes we reinforce with ourselves. Sometimes when we have weak moments, we need our teammates to encourage us, and we'll do the same to our teammates. And this is how we also build what we call the teamwork. And teamwork will help to grow your belief too.
When you believe in something with all your heart and with all your mind, you'll find means and ways to make things happen. You won't stop until you get there, because you know that it's just probably a matter of time before you get there.
I know that certain people get stuck at levels, and they say, "Oh, I'm the Ruby. I've been a Ruby forever." Well, there's nothing wrong with being a Ruby forever either. If you have your sights set on something better, then go out and do it. Don't ruminate on the fact that you're a Ruby. Think, I'm going to be a diamond in 6 months. Move off the thought that you're only an executive, or only this. If you want more for yourself, make it happen for yourself.
Everybody's potential is unlimited. My favorite quote in the world says that the greatest loss in life is the difference between human potential versus actual performance. It's what every person is capable of accomplishing in their life versus what we actually get to. And it's because people waste time. I'm not that good at the business. There's so many people in my downline that are way better than me at recruiting and training and teaching and talking to people. But the one thing I'm good at is maybe I'm just dumb enough not to know I should never quit, or maybe it's that I quit once and I swore I'd never quit again. I just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Everybody have a lot of potentials. Once you do it, you find out you are stronger than you think. You have more wisdom than you think. And you have more, courage and that kind of energy. So by practicing, by working hard, by just face it and take the, obligation and work on that, your potential will come out.
One of the things I love about this business is that it is an equal opportunity, potential business. We give everyone the opportunity to find out who they are and who they can be. And that is something special, and it's something unique. And it's something that I think is missing from a lot of people's lives. I think it's a frightening thought to think that a person could go through life and never have the opportunity to really find out who they can be and what they can do and what they can achieve.
When people get married, they don't always say, "Oh, I can't be a mother. I've never been a mother before." Well, you get in the water and you learn how to be a mother. As long as you have the right heart and the right desire, and you've set your goals to do the best you can, then it's practice skills, increase, practice skills.
We have to realize it's not who you think you are that holds you back. It's who you think you are not that holds you back. And if you subscribe to the latter of those philosophies, you won't get anywhere in life. So you got to get over that kind of thinking. How do you get over that kind of thinking? Use some affirmations. I am great, whether you really believe it or not. Say the words, because the words are the seeds of your thoughts that help you to become who the potential is that you could represent. God gave you a potential. God has never made any mistakes.
I am a big believer that everybody has unusual and certainly untapped potential. And the more people like that we can line up with their skill set and with their abilities, the more success we get to have.
それはね、人生一回の一回の人生ですよね。一回の人生だから、思いっきりね、自分の今までできなかったことをニュースキンだってやらせてくれるんですね。だから自分にどんなことができるかっていう楽しみがあるんですよ。だからそういうことをね、どんどんできていく自分がまだまだ山登りとしたらですね、まだまだ高い山に登れるかなみたいなね、そういう気持ちでお金がどうのこうのじゃなくて自分の違う人生がね見えてくるところが面白いんですね。だからなんていうかな、自分にない今までに見えなかったものを見えていく人間のこの中身っていうのが、なんか私はもう今までニュースキンやる前とやった自分とのこの人生の差がものすごい開きましたので、まだまだね違う人生があるかもしれないみたいな、なんかそういう期待があるんですね。だから同じ一生一回の人生だったらやるだけやってみようっていう気持ちがあってやってます。
So you never know. I mean, honestly, the people you oftentimes think are the most likely to succeed fail. And the people who you think are often least likely to succeed have the greatest drive and the greatest passion, and they succeed. So don't prejudge anybody.
Just pick on one distributor, Betty Sung. Her English when we started was not perfect, and it was so difficult to understand her that we weren't quite sure whether we were going to be able to work with her. And we would do meetings, and she could understand my English, and she could go on for 15 minutes and explain in Mandarin what I said in 2 minutes. And I'd always wonder, what in the heck extra things did she add in there? But we had so much fun, even though we couldn't communicate perfectly, building teams in cities around America, that it was unbelievable when we opened in Taiwan and Hong Kong, and now we're in mainland China, and to see the joy of how many hundreds and thousands of Chinese distributors we have, all because she had a vision and a dream, and she wanted this to work.
There's a story of one of our great distributors that will always be closer to my heart than I think any other story. She was a maid. She went around and cleaned people's houses, and someone introduced the business opportunity to her. She saw it, and she overcame her fears. She overcame any challenges she had, and she went out and she just did the fundamentals every single day. She wasn't an expert salesperson. For goodness sake, she'd been cleaning homes. She wasn't an expert MLM person. All she did was go out and talk to people about products that could improve their lives. Ultimately, she became one of our most successful distributors. And sadly, years later, her husband became ill and was bedridden for a long time. Because of this business, this great distributor was able to stay by the bedside of her husband every day, all day long, and hold his hand and be with him. When he finally passed away, I know that she had no regrets about the time she spent with him. And the reason she could spend this time with him is because she made a decision long ago to go out and share an amazing product and an amazing business opportunity with other people. And ultimately, it changed her life in a dramatic way that most of us will never experience. This is why I love Nu Skin, because Nu Skin helps improve people's lives.
I believe personally that the fundamentals of the business are important. People do have to know the business. They do have to know products. They do have to know how to do a business opportunity meeting, how to explain the products and whatnot. But more important than all of that, in my view, is helping people develop the right mindset to be successful in this business. How people think is everything. How people establish expectations and work towards accomplishing those expectations and know how to overcome challenges and problems and hurdles that they'll encounter, and they will, because they all do, is everything. So a very important part of the Success Formula program is going to be helping people train their minds and recognize the way they think, and recognize perhaps the way their own thought processes handicap their abilities to be successful.
William James said, back in around the turn of the 1900s, said that the greatest discovery in our time is not the electric light globe, but the fact that man or woman can become whoever they want to become. They can become whatever they think about. Okay, so what are you thinking about? What are you focusing on?
사업을 하는 데 있어서 포기하지 않고 꾸준히 열심히 하는 것이 왜 중요하냐 하면, 왜냐하면 비즈니스를 할 때 있어서 도전과 난관에 항상 봉착하게 됩니다. 그때 많은 사람들은 포기를 합니다. 그 성공은 조그만 난관, 도전, 또 커다란 난관, 도전을 극복하면서 이루어내는 것이 성공입니다. 그런 분들이 실패하지 않고 반드시 꾸었던 목표를 이루어내곤 하는 것을 저는 많이 봐왔습니다. 그렇기 때문에 포기하지 않고 어려움에 봉착했을 때도 꾸준히 열심히 하는 것이 가장 중요합니다.
Through life and every day of your life, people are going to tell you why you can't do it. The world is going to tell you why you can't do it. And if you get in the wrong habits, you'll start telling yourself why you can't do it. The people who are able to think positively, to overcome those thoughts, are the ones who consistently achieve more than the average person. So thoughts and how we think of ourselves and keeping positive and optimistic, really it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you think you're going to do, you are able to do.
People have big dreams in their life, and sometimes they develop a secondary opinion that they can't achieve their dreams. For instance, if there's a child that wants a bicycle, and he really, really wants that bicycle, but he knows he can't have it, and he can't have it because his birthday's coming up in 3 months, and his parents don't have a lot of money, and you say to this little kid, do you want a bicycle? You go, nah. Don't want a bicycle. And he doesn't want a bicycle because he's decided in advance he can't have it. And that's the way people live their life. They make decisions in advance they can't have it, so they say they don't want the dream. The belief has to come back and say, if I could have anything in my life, anything, what is it? How would I design my life? What would I have to do to create my life in the fashion that I would like to live it?
One of the things that we experience, everybody experiences, myself, Truman, Blake, Steve, Sandy, and all successful distributors experience, is self-talk. It's this internal communication that goes on, this battle that goes on inside your mind. Are you capable? And this is something that everybody deals with. So if you're experiencing it today, realize that everybody experiences self-talk. And the key is to understand how to control it, how to channel it. It's not a negative. It's not a bad thing to have an internal antithesis to all the positives that are going on in your life, but recognize how to channel it, how to take that self-talk and turn it into a positive. And then the other thing is to kind of internalize positive communications, to recognize that you're always going to have your internal critic. You're never as good as you know you can be. And you're always going to have that self-talk bringing you down. But at the same time, recognizing that the more you can reinforce the positives through communications with positive people, through positive books, through listening to audios of positive thinking, you're going to impact how you feel and how that self-talk works inside of you.
The other thing she told me she learned that day was that negative thoughts will kill you every time. I was licking my wounds. I was thinking about how many rejections I had had. I was thinking that it was taking me longer than I thought it should take me. I was thinking about all the negative stuff in my life instead of focusing on, hey, you know what? If I can just talk to one more person, if I can share these products with one more person, if I can share the business opportunity with one more person, I'm that much closer to a yes, instead of focusing on all the no's that I had received.
There's no such thing as that. There's not little areas or little pockets of negativity. It's people in general are skeptical of something that sounds too good to be true. And sometimes we sound too good to be true because we have great products, great opportunity, and a company with a great heart. And people like to think that that's not possible. But I say it is possible, and we have a reflection of that in our company, in our products, and in our opportunity. And there's going to be skepticism no matter what, but it's your opportunity and job to turn that into a positive thought. Just even sharing just the positive parts of it.
If you look at the most successful distributors in this business, you'll find that they surround themselves with positive people. When they come upon a negative person, they'll either help change that person's attitude, and if they can't help change that person's attitude, they move on. But they try to always surround themselves with positive people, people that will build each other up, people that will help each other become better, not only in this business, but to become better people in general. That's the one thing I love about our distributors. They've taught me huge lessons, and they go out and this is what they do. They create positive people, and they surround themselves with positive people so that when the negative comes in, they're not standing alone. They have other people standing with them, and of course we know that when we stand together, we're much stronger, right?
I think attitude is the most important part. Have a positive attitude and have fun. When you have fun, you attract people. People want to join people that's happy with whatever it is they're doing. So enjoy your work.
If you believe that you are capable of making something happen, and you get up and you make it happen, and you get up every day and you make it happen, you have fun doing it, you accomplish things that most people can't accomplish, and you just enjoy life. And that's what this business is all about.
I became the CEO of the company. It wasn't necessarily a job that I was seeking, and in fact I really wasn't seeking it. And Blake and Steve almost had to twist my arm into doing it. And Blake sent me an email that essentially is a Blake Roney one-page manual of instructions on how to be the CEO of Nu Skin Enterprises. He says, don't focus on negative stuff. Assign it to others and give them as much direction as possible, and then live on in faith. Build on positives. If something is going well, focus on strengthening those things rather than focusing on making failing things work. Pick good people to accomplish things and let them run. Good people can magically resolve things, while everyone else can clearly see all the reasons things cannot be resolved. There's always going to be people in our world, in anything we do, who are going to be the can't-do people. They're always going to see the negatives. They're always going to see the downside. Blake is not one who ever sees the downside. He's so disciplined, his mind and his way of thinking, that he just refuses to dwell on the negatives and to dwell on the downside. He's one of the most optimistic, positive people I know. You know, for him, business is just overcoming challenges. We know we're going to have them. We know we're going to have problems, or we're going to have perhaps even more than our fair share. But for him, that's just part of the game. It's just part of life. The naysayers and the toxic people who come into our world are not going to go away. But we can decide how we're going to react to those people. We can decide whether we're going to let those people affect our mindset. We can decide whether we're going to let those people chase away our dreams or kill our dreams.
You know, if you can control your thoughts and channel your thoughts, then you've got it made. Really, I mean, that's the truth, you know, because what happens is thoughts lead to actions. Whatever people think about all the time, they will eventually act on. That's true. And your actions done consistently enough form your habits. They become habits. When you repeat those actions enough times, they will become habits in your life. And your habits fix your destiny. That's what happens. So it is really, really important that you don't let junk in your brain. It's really important you read good things, you do good things, you think good things.
You also have external critics. Of all the businesses in the world, this is a business that will bring all sorts of external critics. But you need to recognize that they don't determine your future. Oftentimes, the reason they're critical of you is because they don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to break out from the mold that they've put you in. And that's where most of the external critics come from, is that they see you as somebody who's just like them, and when you achieve success in this business, you're no longer just like them. And they don't want that. Now, this is something that every successful distributor deals with, and you have to decide, how are you going to deal with those challenges? Who are you going to let influence you? Are you going to let someone else determine your ability to have lifetime wealth? Are you going to let someone else decide how you're going to have economic freedom so that you can spend time with the people you love and care for? I wouldn't. I look at the things that I decide, how I focus on things that I do, and what impact they're going to have on me and my family. I don't care what outside critics say, because they don't choose my destiny. I choose my destiny.
Yeah, different type attitudes towards you, and I think I usually I understand where they come from. Yeah, most friends and relatives, they are thinking they take care of you and concern you, so they always criticize and give you the negative feedback to want to make sure you don't fall. But once you understand that, that's fine. I think that you are the boss of yourself. You have to make decision yourself.